Chapter 21, Jesus makes unique furniture, and Queen Candice visits the carpentry shop. Chapter 21. Winter seemed unusually cold this year, but somehow it made the fishing better. We had more fish in our nets during the winter months than even in the summer. Then, of course, our hands were very cold as we pulled in those nets while they were wet. So when we finished, it was good to wrap our hands around some hot cups of coffee. Jesus spent equal time helping us on the boat and helping Joseph in the carpentry shop. He had quite a knack for designing new types of furniture with types of wood they didn't usually use and restoring old pieces. He would take an old piece of furniture and wash it clean and repair any broken pieces. He would also take pieces of wood that wouldn't normally be used and see the beauty in the grain of the wood. So he would use it to make a beautiful shelf or to hold a lantern against a wall. Then he would sand it smooth and polish it till it shined. People would actually come to the shop to see the new pieces he was working on. Some folks would buy the piece before it was even finished. Jesus would carve beautiful designs into the piece of furniture to give each one a unique personality of its own. Joseph started taking orders to make more of each item so other people could buy them too. One day, a woman came to the carpentry shop. She was wearing a fancy robe and rings, and some guards were with her. She told Jesus she had just come to this area to visit a relative and saw some of the furniture pieces Jesus had made in their home. She wanted to buy some pieces from Joseph and Jesus. The woman looked around the shop a few minutes, and Jesus and Joseph showed her everything they had and explained from what kind of wood it was made. They would even show her how each piece was used. The woman bought 5 pieces from them that day and placed an order for 6 more pieces. We discovered later that the woman was Queen Candice. What a delightful blessing! Jesus and Joseph were so happy. This was a very good day at the shop to sell 11 pieces of furniture in just one day. Also, to know people were coming from outside our area to buy their furniture was a wonderful feeling. Once they made the furniture and it was bought by someone, no one could tell who would see it or how far it would go. So they remembered that day that they should do the very best job they could on each and every piece because they never knew who would see it. Back home that evening, everyone seemed to be on the roof in their summer house. It wasn't nearly as cold that night and was quite lovely. We could see Mary and Joseph's house from ours, and they were celebrating their blessings at the shop today. Selling all that furniture in one day was a tremendous blessing to their large family. Some boys around Jesus' age were calling for him to come down and walk with them. Apparently, Jesus said he could not go, but he stood in the doorway downstairs and talked with them for a few minutes. You could see they were trying to convince him to sneak out, but Jesus kept shaking his head no. The next day, the boys came to the carpentry shop to see if Jesus could go out with them. Joseph said it was all right with him, but for Jesus to be home at a certain time for supper with his family. So Jesus walked around the town with the boys. Papa and I saw them in town when we were selling the day's catch of fish. They were all visiting the different stands and examining what the seller had to offer. One boy kept poking another one and snickering. Papa and I decided to watch him and see what was going on. Finally, the other boy quickly took a piece of fruit and stuffed it into his pocket. Apparently, Jesus saw him because he immediately took the boy by the arm and talked to him quietly in his ear. The boy reached into his pocket for a coin and paid the merchant. The situation could have been very bad, but Jesus convinced the boy that he should pay for what he took. As they walked through the crowd, they were listening intently to whatever Jesus was saying to them.